Hi everybody, Carla with Carla's Clever Crafts. Sorry, I'm a little bit late getting started tonight. I had to babysit my grands today, and I thought their mommy got off work earlier, but she actually was just now getting off, so Papa just left with them. So I am excited. I'm going to be doing a Wreath Ladybug theme tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to be doing a matching garland. Some of you have probably seen the pictures I did of the bee theme. We're going to use the exact same techniques, design styles, and even pretty much the same materials. These I got these on Amazon, same place I got the bees. So it's going to be, everything will be done exactly the same way. So even if you don't want to do Ladybug and you want to do bee, you'll be able to know how I did both of these. I'm going to do them the same. Okay, let me get my glue battery. I feel all out of sorts and I'm prepared, but I'm really not, I promise. I was able to get all my materials together. Okay, let me load in my comments and give a second for people to jump on. I'm pretty excited. I loved, that was my first time doing a garland. I loved how that turned out. So I'm pretty excited to do another one. My computer's frozen up, so sorry, give me just a minute. While it's thinking about what it's going to do, I can go ahead and start talking about where I got the materials. So for the Ladybug wreath, I have this big, probably about 12-inch size Ladybug, and I got her from Craft Outlet. I'm going to go ahead and open up the package here. I don't remember the prices, so I do apologize for that. I ordered so much at one time, I don't remember the individual prices. It does seem to be pretty good quality. It's made on top of foam. So the back of it is just like a white foam, and then it's pretty thick. Really super cute. Okay, and then I also got this welcome Ladybug sign. Now I do remember this was $3.50 because I was really surprised that such a nice thick wood sign would actually cost me so little. Okay, and that was craftoutlet.com as well. The base that I'm using is a 14-inch wire frame from the Dollar Tree, and I've wired it with 18 pipe cleaners. And the way that I do that is I put 3 in each section, so a section is in between each of these crossbars. And I just put 1 on the inside 2 wires, and then come to the outside and put 2 on the outside 2. I do that all the way around, and that gives us 6 in the inside 2 rings and 12 on the outside. All right, give me just a second and see if my computer's finished thinking. My virus protection always, when I try to go live, gives me lots of warnings. I'm not sure why it does that. Okay, so to do my sign, because this is a thicker wood, I'm not able to use my hole punch to go through it, and I don't like to drill my wood signs because it messes them up sometimes. So I'm going to actually use some E6000 and some hot glue to attach it down. I'm going to grab me a piece of scrap ribbon here. Well, it's not exactly scrap, but we're going to use that. Oh, I think I left my scissors in the other room. See, I am not prepared. Let's see if I can cut this with the, oh, yay. The wire cutters work on string. And then I'm going to grab a couple pipe cleaners because that's what we're going to use to attach our sign. And I'm going to do this step first because I want to give the E6000 some time to start setting up and the hot glue time to completely set up before we have to attach it to our wreath. So it'll be drying while we put the wreath together. I am going to have to go in there and get my scissors probably. Oh no, I have a little pair here. We're good. Okay, so I usually just have pieces of ribbon laying around, scrap pieces or pieces that I've cut and not used. So that's what I'm going to use right now. But you can use any kind of fabric or material and do this part. I'm going to go ahead and peel this sticker off because I don't want to attach to the sticker. I want to attach to the wood. And then I just take my pipe cleaners and V them, make a little V, pinch it at the end, fold it in half and pinch it. And then I take my E6000. This is very durable. This will hold. I haven't done anything this doesn't hold. So that's why I put a dab of it to do this. And anywhere I want to attach my sign, I'm going to attach one of these pipe cleaners. So I'll put a dab of the glue. Then once this is hot enough, we will put the pipe cleaner in the E6000 and then squirt some hot glue over it and secure it down with these pieces of cloth. And I always use my silicone finger protectors for this because the glue gets really hot. I'm still trying to get this to load so I can see comments. I'm sorry, my vision's not good enough to see on the phone up there, so I have to try to get it to load into my computer. Let's see this. Oh yeah, it's just about ready. So what I do is I take the bead part and I lay it inside of the E6000. I take the hot glue and squirt that on top. It's almost ready. Okay. And then I put my piece of fabric over that. Try to keep your glue back from the edge far enough so that it doesn't push over the side. And then I just press it down to create a secure hold. The fabric is going to dry into that glue and then it will hold that pipe cleaner in place. And before we attach the sign, I will show you that I can actually pull on these really hard and they will not come loose. So this is a method that works very well. And then the E6000, it takes 24 hours to set up totally, but it's still going to be set up good enough by the time we finish putting together the wreath to be able to go ahead and attach it. And I'm just pressing down to press that fabric solid into the glue. Okay, so that is all we do to that. And now once this dries, we'll have the pipe cleaners to attach the sign, and we'll lay that back here for now so it'll give us some more room. Okay. And I'm going to be using this mesh. It's a black and white stripe mesh. This one I got from Craft Outlet, and then this one is a red eyelash mesh that has like red metallic through it. It's very, very pretty, and I got this one from bbcrafts.com. Okay, and we're going to be doing the crumple method. I cut all of my pieces of mesh 16 to 17 inches long for this wreath, and the mesh is 10-inch wide mesh. I normally try to have these all separated out so that we can move faster, but I just wasn't able to do that. With the grandbabies today, time was limited. I do think I almost have my video up here. Oh, it says it ended. Well, no, it didn't end. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and get started, and thank you guys for joining me. Even though I can't see the comments, I really appreciate it. Okay, to do my cruffles, I lay my mesh out in front of me. I fold over the first edge and use my pinkies to hold down the ends. And then I fold it over 2, 3, 4 times. And all I'm doing is creating a curl on the end. Then I turn that curl away from me, do the same exact thing on the other end. Then I like to, when I do my cruffles, I turn my 2 curls face down. I'm going to scrunch right down the middle, small sections at a time, gathering it together. Pinch the 2 sides together and take off your clip. And it'll look like that, kind of like a little bow. And then I'm going to actually start on an inside pipe cleaner. Place the finished edge to the outside and the inside. And twist it in. We want to pull these really tight and secure since this forms the base of our entire design. Okay. And now I'm going to alternate these colors all the way around the wreath. So we will do red next. Separate a couple of these. Okay. So we are going to repeat the same process all the way around for all 18 ties. And you can use any kind of clip. I personally prefer these. They're from the Dollar Tree and they're coated in rubber so they don't tear up my mesh when I'm clipping it. They're actually chip bags, so they're in the kitchen section. Chip bag clips. And as I put in each piece of mesh, I'm going to try to keep my pipe cleaners for the last one standing straight up, so when I go back to add my ribbon, I'll be able to find them easily. And when I put this mesh in, I'm pulling real tight and only twisting a couple times. Tomorrow when I do the garland, we're going to be in the kitchen because this space back here is too small. It's barely small enough for these big wreaths, or barely big enough for these 2 big wreaths. So I'm going to move this to the kitchen. Oh man. So this is my first time using this black and white striped mesh, and one thing I'm noticing already is that it really sticks to itself. It is very pretty though. And I think I'm going to try to keep my color scheme to red, black, and white. I did the bees. I did that one with yellow, black, and white, and that seemed to work really well. So I think I'm going to do the same with the ladybugs. And we are just going to go in order of the way the pipe cleaners are laid in. So here I have one on the middle. I've got to make sure I don't miss those. These on the inside, as you get more and more mesh, it's easy to miss them. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out. And we're just going to do this one in the middle, outside, outside, middle, outside, outside. We're just going to go in order. A little bit of fraying from the black and white as well. Not too much from this red eyelash mesh though. And we're going to lay them all in the same way with the finished edges to the inside and the outside of our frame. And this wreath design ends up being, depending on what you attach to it, somewhere between 24 and 26 inches wide. I'll try these comments one more time, guys. Hopefully I can see. Oh, here it is, maybe. think I found it. Hey Desiree, hi Sandra, thanks for joining. Yay, I can finally see them. Hi Laura, how are you? Now I'm alternating the mesh and using the black and white and the red because that's what I'm going to do on the garland as well. But you could do this with solid red or black and white, red and black mixed mesh, like a red and black check. Possibilities are endless. And I think I'm going to be using just red and white flowers because I wanted to stay with the 3 colors theme. But I will mention that I've seen someone else had done a garland with ladybugs, and they had used yellow flowers in theirs. It was red, black, and white all, except they had added some yellow flowers. It was very pretty. A little additional pop of color. Oh, look what I did, guys. Try to speed this up a little. This is the boring part, so I'm sorry. Sometimes I do get the base started in advance of the video, but because I've been laying my mesh different ways and stuff, I thought it might get confusing for people who are watching the first time. So I wanted to start from the beginning. Just a reminder, you just curl the first end and put your clip, turn that away from you, curl your second end. I usually fold over 4 times because it protects that cut edge really well from fraying. And then just scruffle down the middle. That is also why I turn my curls face down. That too protects from fraying. Oh, thank you, Sandra. I'm excited about that one too. We're going to move to the kitchen for that one for sure. That thing is ginormous. I don't think the pictures really show how big it is. I actually started off on my kitchen counter and I have a pretty long counter, and I even had to move to the floor to finish it. So let's see how it goes. I tend to really like designs that have pops of black in them, I think. It's usually my favorite designs are one that I have like either a pop of black ribbon or some black mesh or something in it. I think it's the contrast that my eye gets drawn to. So is anybody doing anything for St. Patrick's Day? Or are you like me, just staying in for the night, making crafts? I actually sell Easter baskets too, and I have quite a few orders. So after this live, I'm going to be going and making Easter baskets to get them ready for shipping, because I want to go ahead and get them in the mail before the weekend sales, because it scares me to get too far behind. Slow but sure. Love the black also. No Irish in the house, and cold. Yes, it's cold here too. Both my husband and I do have Irish. Our last name is actually Murphy, so it doesn't get much more Irish than Murphy. My maiden name was Moyers, so German, but I do have Irish in me as well. But we're just not big on partying or anything like that. We've already had dinner, so no special St. Patrick's Day plans for us. We're going to do a couple bows, at least a couple, 2, maybe 3, to put on this wreath. So I think the bows really make a difference to your overall look. I do a lot of designs without bows, but I think they do make a huge difference. Just depends on what your preference is, what you like. If you like wreaths that are more over the top and stuff, then the extra bows give you that look. At least I think so. And since we're going to do a garland to match this guy, I want it to be nice and big and full and with lots of stuff. Hi Karen, thanks for joining. If you missed it, we're doing a Ladybug wreath tonight, and then tomorrow night I will be doing a garland to match this wreath. I'm pretty excited about these sets. I kind of like designing the sets. Okay, now we're getting down to the last few. I think we've got 3 more. So we got to make sure we don't miss any of these pipe cleaners. This one's trying to hide. One more black and one more red. Looks like I cut an extra piece. So we'll just make that become part of the garland tomorrow. or lay two beside each other. Oh no. I'm just getting confused in my old age. I got one left and it's red, so that is correct. Nothing like getting all the way around your wreath base to realize that you missed a pipe cleaner and you have to go back and redo them. Thankfully I didn't do that on live, you guys. Of course, I've done it a few times. It's not on live. And when I put my last piece in, I always make sure that the piece that's to the right of it, I pull that out, both the top and the bottom, and layer it over top of the last piece that I put in, so we keep a uniform look with all of our nice little curls around the middle. So that's what we have so far. Okay, and then for ribbons, I am using a black and red polka dot. This one is 1.5 inches, and I cut them to 13 inches long, and I've already dovetailed them on both ends. This one came from Craft Outlet. Actually, I can make that easy. All of these ribbons came from Craft Outlet. The next one that I'm using is this black and white polka dot. And then I'm going to actually use 2 different Ladybug ribbons. I'm going to use this block pattern because it has the large ladybug, then it has these little ladybugs with the white daisies, and then it has the black and white block. That will tie in my black and white polka dot ribbon. And then I'm also going to use this one. Now these are 2.5 inch. Each of these are 2.5 inch. This is a white ladybug with daisies in the background, so I thought that kind of matched the little section here with the little ladybugs and the little white daisies. So that's what I decided to do. Okay, now I am actually going to pair, I think I'm going to do the black and white with this and the red and black with this. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And sometimes I cut my pieces in half and do like half tails, but tonight I'm going to go ahead and just use full 13-inch pieces all the way around. And when I do this style wreath, to put my ribbons in, I do like a small X on the table in front of me. This is what I would consider a big X. I don't do that. I do like a small X. And then I scrunch down the middle and V them back towards myself. And I line up these 2 pieces of ribbon here to make sure it's even. And then pinch it, and then you have like a little fan of ribbon tails in your hand. And then I just come into my first pipe cleaner, stick it in there. Here I'm going to twist 3 or 4 times. I'm not adding anything else to this pipe cleaner, so I'm going to go ahead and clip it off. And push that end piece down in and squeeze it to secure the ribbons. And then I'm just going to fan out my ribbon tails, curl my ends under. And then I'm ready to do the next one. And I'm going to alternate between the 2 different sets of patterns. So we did the red polka dot here. We're going to do the black polka dot next. Doing all the ribbons the same way. Pinch up the middle and V it back towards myself. And then lay it in. Twist it 3 or 4 times and then snip it off. When I do my ribbons, when I fluff them out, I kind of arch them up down here next to the pipe cleaner and then just curl the ends out and under. to do the red and black. Trying not to cover up my pipe cleaners, so I try to keep pulling them out. We're going to have a lot of ribbon tails this way, so it should be nice and full. Mesh got caught in my ribbon. Other themes do you guys think would look good for a garland wreath set? I was trying to decide what to do after the Ladybug. Needing some ideas on maybe what theme would be a good one. Yes, I am actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm adding it to all 18 pipe cleaners. So I have all of those pulled straight up so that I don't miss them, hopefully, and I'm adding this ribbon into all 18. Now, I have done designs, I even have a live where I snip off the 6 on the inside and then only add to the outside, but I wanted this one to be really full. To go with the garland, because the garland is pretty good size that I'm going to be doing. So I decided to just go ahead and do all 18 pipe cleaners with ribbon. Get a lot of overlapping, and some of your ribbons get covered up. But I just wanted to make sure I had a lot of ribbon on here and a nice full look. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. Oh, you have made only one. Well, Karen, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. I actually have a whole separate video that shows just how to add the pipe cleaners. So after the live tonight, I will send you a link to that. How would that be? And then it shows me wiring the entire frame. It also shows how I cut my ribbons, how I cut my mesh, how I dovetail the ends of my ribbons. So there's a lot of stuff that's on there for if someone's brand new. Gonna make sure I don't mix up my pattern, because that's another mistake I've made. Nothing like mixing up your pattern, your colors, or missing a pipe cleaner and having to redo part of your wreath. Now my ribbon tails are, I'm only fanning them to the outside and not the inside, because I have such a large ladybug, and then also the sign "You're welcome" And then also the sign is going to take up a lot of this middle area. And then I'm also doing I'm doing 2 and maybe 3 bows. So that's going to all get filled up with that stuff. And then if I have spaces that don't have ribbon coverage after I attach those, I can always readjust some of these ribbon tails to the inside. But most likely this is going to be really full with the other things that we're going to add. And if I miss anybody's comments or questions, I will definitely, after the live, get on there and answer you as quickly as I can. I think sometimes they pop up and pop off before I get a chance to see them. And I am more than willing to help anybody that, you know, wants extra help. You can always reach out to me and message me. All of us are new at something. For example, I'm new at live. I only started doing this in January, so it's still a learning process for me. I'm still trying to figure out my camera angle and how to get it consistent every time, because even when I don't move it, sometimes my view changes from landscape to horizontal, I guess it's called. I think I mixed up my pattern. No, I didn't. So we're all new at something, so I hope there's people out there that will help me, and I want to do the same for others. And I've been making wreaths probably about 4 years now. So I've tried all different kinds of styles and methods, and I have my favorites. I have my favorite ways of doing things, but I have been, since I've been doing lives, trying to do some different styles and stuff, you know, so that I'm teaching or showing more than one way. So everybody's got to decide what their favorite is for themselves. Cruffles are my favorite by far. You guys, I did switch my pattern. Let's see, I have the red. Yes, I have the red. It's okay. There's so many polka dots here, I don't think it's going to be noticeable. If it is, I'll fix it after the live. I have a lady who watches my videos on YouTube who wants me to do a pancake style wreath, so I'm probably going to be doing that next. After I get these the garland done. I'm actually new to all of the social media with my business, because previously I had always just made my designs and I sold on Etsy, and that's about it. But my husband talked me into taking it to a new level, and so that's what I'm trying now. That's what we're working on, and so far it's going pretty good. Just a large learning curve, so much to learn. And my favorite part is designing, not business stuff. A little more than halfway around here, so we're doing pretty good. I just love this Ladybug ribbon. Hi, Angela. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we've got a giant ladybug we're going to add, and then a ladybug sign that says welcome. And then some bows. And then we're going to do a garland to match this, just like I did with the ladybugs, or the bumblebee set, or honeybee set. I think those are honeybees, rather. And I'm very meticulous about how my ribbon tails lay. That's why I fray them out or straighten them out as I go. Not everybody is. Some people put them in and just let them, you know, lay the way that they go in. You can do it's whatever style works for you. I'm just a little bit of a neat freak, so I like to take and fix each ribbon tail, make sure it's laying the way I want, it's curling correctly, arching outward. But you don't have to do all that. It's totally up to you. Okay, I think we've got two more. Show the honeybee supplies you used when you are done. Yes, of course. I'll even run in there and grab the wreath. I have it hanging on the inside of my front door. So I will grab that and go over where I got those. I might be able to remember most of it, honestly. The bumblebees came from Amazon. It was a 4-pack, I think, for $11 or $12. The beehive sign that says welcome to our hive came from Craft Outlet. You're very welcome. The yellow mesh that I used is called wide strip mesh, and that was from Craft Outlet. And then the black and white mesh I used was called wide weave mesh, and it also is from Craft Outlet. Now let me remember. I might have to look at the wreath to remember which ribbons I use, because I have so many different bee theme ribbons. I have an affinity for bees, so I buy all the ribbon I see. I'll have to look at that to tell you where the ribbons came from. And then I also made it, this is the exact same technique I used to make it. Same frame, same layout of the pipe cleaner, same mesh design, everything. This is exactly how I'm doing this wreath tonight, is how I did the bumblebee. Or honeybee, or bee, I don't know what they're called. I'm scared to death of real bees, you guys. So it's funny that I actually love decorating with bees. I will run if I see a real bee. I got stung when I was about 5 years old between the eyes, and my face swelled up and my eyes swelled shut. I've been scared to death ever since. This is our last group of ribbons. Big. Oh no, we've got one more hidden down in here. That's what I meant. So I noticed I had one more set of ribbons. So yeah, we've got one more here. It's very easy in this design to lose your pipe cleaners down in there and miss one. So that's one thing to be careful of if you're doing this design. That's our last one. And I think I ended up having two laying next to each other the same here, so that means I messed up somewhere. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the mesh. When I put my last set of ribbons in, I pull the set to the right out and lay it over top of the last set that I put in, trying to keep those patterns the same. Now I wanted to look at this big bee or ladybug we're going to use because I just remembered I didn't decide how we were going to attach this. This is all foam in the back. That clear plastic is coming out of the top of her head. We can probably glue her on. Oh yeah, and then that material is gonna like cling to the mesh. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna glue her on, so we're good. Okay, I'm gonna move this back here now. And we will get ready to make a bow. And then these are the little ladybugs that we're using on both this wreath and the garland. And these came from Amazon. I think I mentioned that at the beginning, but just in case. The bees and these ladybugs come in a set of 4, and they're from Amazon. They're very, very cute, and they're pretty good size. You can see, pretty good size, so they show up well. I gotta find my bow maker. There it is. I buried it. I'm going to clean up the mesh, or the fray from the mesh. The black and white frayed a little bit, but not too terribly bad. The red didn't really seem to fray at all. Okay, so I'm going to use just the main ribbons that we are already using here. And I'm probably going to do a solid pop of black in there maybe. Let me grab that back here. I think it's behind me. Well, maybe I won't be doing the black. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to start off with these two on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and dovetail my end. So the way that I dovetail is just fold the ribbon in half long ways. I'm going to cut from the folded edge at an angle up to the wired edge. All of my ribbons are wired. I know I didn't mention that. Okay. And this that I'm using to make the bow is an Easy Bow Maker. I seen them, I checked the other day and they had them on Amazon for $26. For me, it's a lifesaver because I cannot hold all these ribbons in my hands. I'm just not that coordinated. And so this holds them all for me, which is very, very helpful. Okay, and I'm going to start off with 8-inch tails. And then if they're too long, I can always trim them off. I like to leave it a little longer rather than shorter because I can't add to it. I'm going to pull my tail downward. And then I'm going to do a 5.5-inch loop on this side. Twist the ribbon in the middle. The reason that you twist it is to keep your pretty side of your ribbon up, facing up when you do your loops, because this has a not so pretty side and a pretty side. We want to make sure those ladybugs are on the outside of our loops. Now I'm not going to twist it. I'm going to do 5.5 inch loop over here, and then I'm not doing another loop, so I'm not going to twist it this time. I'm going to keep the pretty side up for my tail. And then we'll pull it out here. This bow maker also has measurements on here, so it has from 1 inch to 8 inch and 1 inch to 8 inch on each side, which is very helpful in making sure you get your loops the same size and you have good uniformity. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this tail up, and then next I'm going to do the other ladybug ribbon. I'm also going to do 2 loops of it. Again, I'm going to start by just dovetailing my end, folding in half, cutting upward from the folded side to the wired side. I normally have bigger scissors, you guys. I just forgot them in the other room. So I'm just using the little ones. Now this tail I have coming down on this side, so I'm going to start opposite and bring this tail down on this side. And I'm going to do it again at 8 inches, twist in the middle so that when I come back around with my loop, I have the pretty side up. Hi, Big Bear Creations, how are you? Hi, Linda. Okay, we're doing a 5.5 inch loop again, same as the one with the first one we did. We're going to twist in the middle again to make sure we keep our pretty side on the outside of our loop. I'm going to pull this tail down because that's how I'm going to want it to go when I put it in my wreath. Okay, and another 5.5 inch loop. And then I'm going to pull this out and cut it again at 8 inches. Now I might end up cutting that shorter when I put it on the wreath, but for now I'm going to do 8. Ribbon's hard to cut with these little scissors, guys. And then I'm going to pull this tail upward because I'm going to want it to go upward. And then I'm going to come in and do some solid black, create a little bit of contrast. This black, I told you where all the other ribbons and this black came from Craft Outlet, so that's easy. Okay, and I'm going to make this tail about 1 inch to 1.5 inches shorter, probably about 7 inches. I'm twisting again in the middle, even though I don't have a pretty side and not so pretty side. I'm still twisting just to keep uniform and so that I don't forget. I'm going to come in about 1 inch on these loops, which will make them about 4.5 inches. Okay, and I think I'm going to go ahead and twist and do one more black loop. I'm going to do it the same size as the previous black one. I'm just using the other loop I already did to measure. Twist it. Make my loop on the other side the same way. Okay, I'm going to cut this tail off again, about 6 inches. I'm cutting somewhere between 6 and 7. I'm going to pull that up, so I want that one to go up. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do the polka dot on this bow, or the polka dot ribbons, these two. I think I'm going to hold off. We may do that in another bow. But then I also bought this, the matching ribbon to this 2.5 inch ribbon. I bought it in the 1.5 inch size. That is because I like to top my bows off with 1.5 inch ribbon as opposed to the wider ribbon. You don't have to do that. I have plenty of wreaths where I've used the bigger ribbon on the top. I just think they look nicer. when you have the smaller ribbons on the top. So it's bigger on the bottom and then, you know, smaller as it comes up. I'm going to dovetail my end again. I'm actually going to start this way because I already have this tail here with this design on it. And I have my black tail also coming off this side, so I want this one coming over here. I'm going to make it about the same length as the black one. Twist in the middle. I'm going to separate my black loops there so I can kind of see what it's going to look like. And then I'm going to do about a ½ inch smaller than my black loop. So now we're down to about between 3.5 and 4 inches on this loop. Same thing on the other side. Okay, that looks pretty close. And I'm going to pull that one off and just snip it up there, close to where I did the black one. Okay, need to grab a pipe cleaner. And this is another great thing about this bow maker. You can take your pipe cleaner, feed it right down through these 2 poles, wrap it around all of your ribbon, make sure it's even. And then I take my thumbs and push, I hold on each side of the bow, and I take my 4 fingers over here and hold underneath, and my 4 fingers on this side and hold underneath here to make sure that I keep all the ribbon together and none of it comes apart or moves. Make sure you keep that pinched in the middle. Don't let your ribbon slide. And then I just twist my pipe cleaner in the back. And once I give it one twist, I pull all my loops forward and keep twisting down into the ribbon to make it tight. Okay, so we have one bow almost done. I'm going to go ahead and dovetail these other ends where we cut the ribbon off. Got them all. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of fluff my tails out here, and I'm going to hold on. We're going to use the ends of this pipe cleaner to attach it to our wreath. So that is our pretty little bow. Let me move this stuff back out of my way. I always make such a mess when I'm doing this, you guys. Okay. Alright, so to do this, I'm going to stand up. I always like to be looking down at my wreath when I decide where to position my bow. And I think we're going to come in like right about here with this one. And we'll run the pipe cleaners down through the mesh, down to the wire frame that we started on. I'm going to wrap around 2 of the rings on that wire frame. And I'll try to flip this over and show you once I get it through there. Having trouble getting through the mesh. I think I might have gotten it. Okay, that's Okay, so I've just pulled this pipe cleaner and I'm going around 2 of the rings. So this one and this one. And then I'm not going to pull it real tight because I don't want to flatten my bow and sink it down into my design. So I'm just going to pull it snug and then twist it really secure. I usually twist 6, 7, 8 times. I'm not sure that I really count. I just twist it a bunch of times. And then I'm just going to snip off the extra here and leave a little tail. And I'm going to take that and push that up inside of the wreath frame so that those wires inside of the pipe cleaner doesn't scratch somebody or their door. Okay, so there is our first pretty little bow. I really like how that turned out. We'll spread out our loops and fluff them up. When I do my loops, the 4 on the bottom, like I do them straight across from one another, and then I do the other design the opposite direction. All right. I think I put my bow upside down. That's okay though. We'll just trim those tails off when we're all done. Okay. I'm going to turn the glue gun on because I'm going to try to start figuring out where we want to position the sign and the ladybug. This thing is going to be full with all these ladybugs. Okay. Actually, I think I'm kind of glad that those long tails aren't down here because we're going to put, I think we're going to put the sign right about here. And then I'm going to put our big ladybug up here. Kind of at an angle like that, I think. What do you guys think? Hey! What do you guys think about that? Does that look cute? Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to move the ladybug and wire the sign. I'm doing the same thing with the sign that I did with the bow. Working down through all the mesh and ribbon to the frame underneath. This is probably the hardest part of making a wreath. Okay, and then I need to position my sign back where I wanted it. And I'm just going around 2 rings and I'm going to wrap it around each other the same way. Now there's not a lot of extra on the ends of these, so I'm not going to cut any off. I'm just going to push it up inside. Well, yeah, maybe I will trim it just a little. Okay. All right, now come over to the other side and do the same thing. I went through there easy. Now let me take a look. I want to make sure that my sign is centered and that I like the position. I think I do. So I'm going to go ahead and twist this down. Oh, I forgot to show you guys how strong those were holding. I'm sorry. I meant to show you that you could pull on those as hard as you want to and they wouldn't come loose. Okay, I pushed my pipe cleaner up inside. And of course, once I get done, I'll go back and readjust all of the tails because where I'm flipping it all around, so I'm getting them messed up. Turn my bow a little bit to try to keep those ribbon tails from covering my sign. Okay. I'll do some more fluffing with that too, probably once we're done, because it gets messed up as you're working too. Okay, see if our glue gun, yeah, it's pretty warm. So let me Yep, I think I like her just like that. So I'm just gonna raise her up. Oh wow, she's really stuck to that mesh. I think I could just let her hang on to the mesh. I'm just gonna put a lot of hot glue under here. This is a Ryobi glue gun. My husband got me this. I didn't even know there was such a thing. It's like a tool grade. Ryobi makes tools. And he ordered this for me and surprised me with this, and it has been the greatest gift I think I've ever had. You just have to be very careful because this does get extremely hot. I have burnt myself a number of times, but the glue, it uses the larger size glue sticks. And I just ordered, at first I was ordering them from Home Depot where he got my glue gun. And that glue worked fabulous. But then I ordered some from Amazon because they cost a little less. And the Amazon glue is working just as good for me. So I love, love, love this. I'm going to hold this just for a minute. This Ladybug came from Craft Outlet. Both the sun, the Ladybug, I think everything I'm using tonight except the frame came from Craft Outlet, you guys. Even the pipe cleaners came from Craft Outlet. And the red mesh came from bbcrafts.com. Everything else came from Craft Outlet. The sign and the Ladybug. I'm actually going to trace this Ladybug and make me a pattern. Because I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, I could make that so easy. I don't know though. I don't think the Ladybug costs very much, and she's very well made, and she's thick. She's on like a thick white foam. I don't think I paid that much for her, like $3, $3.50 or something. Might be better to just buy her as opposed to the amount of time it take you to make it. And thank you. Okay. Now let me see. I think I want to do a little bow down here at this bottom. We've got like this little spot here. So I'm going to do one more little bow right there. I had thought maybe 3 bows, but I think 2 is going to be sufficient. So let me get the bow maker again. And see, this glue it gets so hot it will keep running. So you got to watch out for that as well. And this time, I think I'm going to use the 2 dots that we didn't use last time. And I'm going to use the 1.5 inch Ladybug. I just do kind of like a small bow. Let's see if I want to put black in it. Yeah, I think I might do a little pop of black too. I think I'm going to do a half bow though. I'm going to show you guys something different. What was the other site you said? The red mesh came from bbcrafts.com. It's just capital B, crafts.com all together. And it's called eyelash mesh. They have a ton of mesh on their site, but this particular red that I used tonight is eyelash. Yes, that's it, BB Crafts. You're welcome. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little half bow. So I'm going to do a little, I'm going to do 8-inch tails again, just because then I can cut it off if I need to. And then I'm just going to do 1 loop of the black. And I think I'm going to do probably 4.5 inches. And then I'm going to cut it off. So that's what a half bow is. It's literally just 1 loop. Half of a bow. I did not come up with this on my own. I spent lots and lots of time watching other crafters too, and I wish I remembered who I learned this from to tell you, but I don't because I've watched so many. Okay, now I'm going to do, well no, we're going to do the red next because I don't want to put black and white on black. So we'll do the red and black. I'm going to do my tail the same length because like I said, I can cut them off if I want them shorter, and I probably will. Twist it in the middle and bring it back. I'm going to do this loop about a 1/2 inch shorter. off my tail again. Now we'll do the black and white. I used so much of this black and white polka dot, I actually just went ahead. This was a 50-yard roll. I've had it about a month and it's half gone, so I went ahead and already ordered me another one. I used it last year and then they sold out of it, guys, and I couldn't get it. How much was it? I seen the price list and there were some good prices on there. I have never ordered from there, but I definitely need to go check that out. Because I've seen some of your prices and I was like, whoa. Wow. That was a lot of stuff though. My goodness, I spend that, I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out because I spend that much at Craft Outlet and my box is not near that full. Okay, so I'm going to do another half bow here. I tell you, when you add them to your cart, when you're buying craft supplies, it doesn't seem like it's going to be very much, but boy, when you get to the end, you haven't even opened it all yet. I could imagine that's probably going to take you a little while. That was an awesome box, though. I can't wait to see some of your designs. And some more of the product that came out of that box. Holy cow. Okay. Wreaths of Joy is where that came from, right? 300 pipe cleaners and rib mesh on the bottom with ribbon. Yeah, that's awesome. Love box days, opening boxes with all the goodies. Yeah, Wreaths of Joy. Yeah, so if anybody that's on here is interested in what we're talking about, she has a Facebook business page called Joy Train. And then her site is Wreaths of Joy. And I don't know her, but I am going to say that Lena posted a picture of a box that she ordered from there. It was so full of goodies, and I'm not sure if she meant to include part of the invoice, but there was some prices on there. They were good prices. So I'm going to check it out. I just ordered a bunch of florals, but I ordered from Greenery Market. I usually get them at Hobby Lobby. Miss Robin, Zach, and Cole is their names. Okay. I have watched them. I've seen some of their lives and stuff, but like I said, I watched so many, I don't remember too many names yet. But I know they've got some beautiful stuff. I'm going to order from there, I'm sure of it, after seeing your post. Okay. All right, so I need to grab another pipe cleaner. I quit explaining what I was doing, but I just did the same thing with all 4 of these bows, doing the half loops. And then I'm just going to feed my pipe cleaner down like I did for my big bow. Keep my thumbs in the middle and pull up on each side. Twist it in the back, pull it forward and twist tight, twist downward in toward the ribbon. Okay, and that'll be our last bow. I'm going to dovetail my ends. Okay, so let's get our wreath back over here and see if we can get this thing done sometime tonight. I hate to make my lives long, but I also hate to rush my designs. So sometimes when I rush, I might get off and then I'm like, oh, I want to do this to it. And then I'm like, well, now everybody on live didn't get to see me do that. So I'm going to put this one right down here at the bottom. Feed it down through the same way. hopefully, all the mesh and draw the ribbon to the wire frame. Oh, got it. That one went easy too, guys. Okay. I'm going to turn this towards me just so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, I'm glad I cut those tails longer. I think I'm going to like that. I'm just twisting the pipe cleaner again. Cut off the end, the extra, and then push the little tail up inside. And I'll turn it back around towards you guys to flip it out. And then these 1.5 inch ribbons, you can just run your fingers over them and get like a nice little arch curl tail. That's a nice little trick that I learned watching lives and seeing other people do. Fluff my loops. Okay, now we have to still add these little ladybugs, y'all. So I'm thinking one there, and here, and up here maybe. I am going to zip tie those. I have these little, I think these are 6-inch zip ties. I got this big bag of them from Walmart, or Amazon. Had 1,000 in it. I've used about half of them. Now let me see how I can position and attach these. I'm going to zip tie it to the red mesh because it's the more durable mesh. And I'm going to just pinch like 3 layers. I'll try to do it so you guys can see, hopefully. Pinch up like 3 layers of the mesh together. Run the pipe cleaner through, or I'm sorry, zip tie. And then I'm going to zip tie around his little leg, and this is challenging. I had trouble with the bee as well. Hanging on to the ladybug and the zip tie and everything all at the same time. And I want to make sure I'm zip tying around the top of his leg, which I just dropped him. Okay, and then I'm going to snip that off, and then I push that white part of the zip tie. If you have black ones, it would probably be better. Unfortunately, I don't. I have black ones, but they're huge. Okay, and then I'm going to come to the other side and zip tie him again on this side. Looks like I'm going to be forced to go through the black and white, even though I was wanting to stay on the red. And I, when I did the bees, I put a little bit of glue under them and attached them to a piece of ribbon as well. Although I think the zip ties probably are sufficient. And I'm only going around one leg so that I can get that zip tie really tight. I want him to set up there more. So I think I'm going to go around the middle leg on this side. Fix my ribbon. So see right here, I'll put some glue up under here and kind of glue him down on that piece of ribbon. And probably the same thing on this side as well with this piece. Okay, so then I think maybe I should put, no, I like it over here. I'm going to put this one here. We're almost done, guys. I was thinking about adding some florals to this, but I'm not going to do it on live tonight because I can't decide what I want to do. So if you guys have any suggestions, I had some white florals, and then I had some carnations, red carnations. I wasn't sure if I should do just white or red and white, or I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on what to do as far as the florals. So you guys give me suggestions. And remember, whatever I do on the wreath, I have to also do on the garland. Now I need to do the other side. There's so much ribbon here too that you're not really going to even see the zip tie, because it's going to be covered by the ribbon for the most part. I want this one trying to turn this way, so I'm going to go around the middle leg here. Pulling those really tight, so it's holding on to that leg really well. Just double checking, making sure it's secure. I get kind of rough with my crafts sometimes, just because I want to be sure that it's not going to come apart. I am pretty excited about doing the garland tomorrow. I think that's going to be so much fun. I get bored sometimes with crafts, so I have to like branch out and do something different to keep my interest, and so that's why I started, got the idea to do the garland. Just like to try something new every once in a while. I do centerpieces too every once in a while, but I do mostly wreaths. A lot of ribbon tails, guys, so if you did this design, you would not have to use as much ribbon as I did. Like I was saying earlier, if someone asked me if I was putting the ribbon on all of the pipe cleaners, including those inside 6, you would not have to do that, and you would still have plenty of ribbon. You could cut those off and then just add the ribbon to the outside 12 and still have plenty. My ribbon after we get done. Okay guys, here it is. Let me know what you guys think, how I did. Please give me suggestions and feedback on the flowers. And what you think I should do, what colors, maybe what type, because I got to figure that out. Because thank you so much, Lena. We're definitely going to have some flowers on that garland. It's too long and too big not to have something. So give me some feedback or suggestions. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You would do red and white. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I hope I will see you guys tomorrow to do the garland to match this little guy. Okay, you guys have a good night. Thank you, Karen. I'll see you guys soon.